Reason number 452, why I believe in God. People sometimes say, given enough time, the universe was bound to produce complexity and eventually all of life. And it is true, time matters. If you roll dice long enough, unlikely outcomes eventually happen. But when you actually look at what some physicists have pointed out, the numbers involved aren't just large and unlikely. They're so big, your brain basically files for early retirement trying to process them. Roger Penrose, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, estimates that the odds of the universe beginning in its extraordinarily low entropy state, by chance, are around 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 123. That number is so large, it stops being something your brain can really compare to everyday probability. Honestly, after about 6 years, most of us are just nodding politely and pretending we still understand. For perspective, imagine being told to find one specific grain of sand, hidden somewhere in an entire galaxy. Most people would say that's impossible. However, that's a lot more likely than the probability of 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 123. And here's the thing, time doesn't just solve every probability problem. If I buy one lottery ticket every week for the rest of my life, time helps my chances, but at a certain point, the odds are so extreme that adding billions of years is like adding a drop of water to an ocean. You haven't meaningfully changed the outcome. And that's just one piece of the picture. On top of that, you've got multiple physical constants, gravity, electromagnetism, nuclear forces, all sitting in ranges that allow stars and chemistry and eventually life to exist. If those values were even slightly different, you don't get a different kind of life. You don't get life at all, or structure at all. No stars or chemistry, no planets, no people arguing in my comment sections. Even non-theist scientist Fred Hoyle looked at this and said, it was like a super intellect has monkeyed with physics, his quote, which is probably the most British way possible of saying that this seems suspicious. Now, none of this is scientific proof of design. That's not what science does. But it does raise a very simple question. When you stack up all these conditions, from the initial state of the universe to the constants that govern everything, is it really the most satisfying explanation to say it all happened through unguided processes? Because in any other context, when you see that level of precision, producing something highly specific, you don't usually just say, time made it work. And I'm not saying I proved God. I'm saying, why does a universe that allows life look this finely balanced in the first place? Why are there laws that exist in the first place? And once you start adding in things like consciousness, morality, or sense of meaning, or pursuit of truth, things that don't sit neatly on a lab report, the idea of an intelligent mind behind reality doesn't feel like it's off the table. At very least, it feels like one of the possibilities worth taking seriously. And I don't think that's an unreasonable place to end up.